Hi, this is David Davis, and I'm proud to be here with Mr. Irfan Ahmad from Cloud Physics. Irfan is the CTO and co-founder. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Great, great. So, when I was at VMworld, it looked like a storage innovation show. Of course, there's a lot of virtualization, but so many storage companies. Storage is obviously a really hot topic in virtualization. On my virtualization roadshow, we're talking to a lot of storage companies. So I know that Cloud Physics has done a lot of research and has a lot of experts on storage and performance. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you all are doing?
First of all, I completely agree with you that when you combine virtualization with storage, so far in the history of virtualization, nothing good has come out. And what happens is typically a system administrator, IT director will go through the journey of consolidation, get a lot of benefits. But the moment they start to get into storage consolidation, using VMFS or NFS or any of the other underlying technologies, each of the virtual machines with its own peculiar workloads and its own unique footprint, they start to interfere with each other. And it's a classic case of the maturation of an environment when you know that you've matured your virtualization environment when you start to see storage performance problems.
Right.
We've seen this in the field, you've experienced this. So definitely we believe any virtualization operations management solution has to have a lot of strength in that area. And so we're lucky to have quite a few people from around the world from different backgrounds who are experts in storage in the company. And so we put a lot of emphasis into it. And one of the really interesting things that we saw at VMworld when I met you there was this interesting mix of different vendors trying to use flash in different ways and to really solve some of these operational problems that people are having in their virtualized data centers. So we've been seeing that. Where we add a lot of value there actually is in helping customers understand where their problems are that flash can actually help. So I'm going to mention a couple of case studies that we've done with customers where we found that once customers are equipped with analytics about their environment and about where, and actually predictive analytics on which virtual machines and which hosts and which data stores need acceleration, that they can not only save money, but actually get to improving their performance in a much more accelerated way. So there was recently a United States East Coast hedge fund, a very large fund, about $20 billion under management in that fund, about 50 employees, fairly large compute environment. And we worked with them and one of our storage partners to do a holistic study using our analytics but in the customer's environment to understand and to give this analysis back to them. The result of this analysis was that they managed to save something like $100,000 by investing in the first phase in the virtual machines and in the hosts and the data stores that actually needed the acceleration, would benefit from it, and our analytics went even a step further. It showed them how much they needed to buy to be able to get that acceleration. So they were able to really understand their environment, purchase the equipment that they needed to purchase, but to be able to do it in a way that they could justify the expense by knowing upfront what the benefit was going to be, what the cost was going to be, and then after that it's actually really easy to justify that investment.
Yeah, I mean, because virtualization admins I think today are in a tough spot. I mean, a lot of them put in shared storage really just because they had to, to use HA or DRS, and so they found some shared storage, they used it, and as you said, that sort of normal cycle is the more VMs you put on there, they have different workloads, different IOP utilization, and at some point you're going to experience storage bottlenecks. And contention, and then today they're just barraged with storage solutions. You've got server-side cache, you've got hybrid storage, you've got all flash, and how do you choose? Do you the company that takes you to dinner or has the lowest initial cost solution? But how do you compare them as well? It's a really tough, I think, position to be in. So say I put in Cloud Physics. You all have a card that does storage or SSD analysis.
That's right.
Tell me some of the things in particular that it would help me to guide me in those sorts of decisions.
First of all, again, you're absolutely right. Every customer is different, right? And every customer's mix of workloads is different. and no two Microsoft Exchange servers have the same workload. You know, when I was at VMware, I wrote this tool back in 2006 called vSCSI, which actually is
I've used that tool.
You have, I think, yeah. And you know, if you Google for it, you know, lots and lots of system administrators have played with it and used it to help them tune their environment. And the remarkable thing is that people have used that tool to study what looks like the same workload, but in different customer environments. And even something like Microsoft Exchange, so it has, you know, some similarities, but in the details is actually different across customers, and that makes sense, right? If you're working in a print shop, you're getting these really large files from your customers that you're going to print, but if you're a system administrator, you're getting these really, really tiny messages saying everything's okay, or something's problem, or there's an alert or an alarm, right? So the workloads are extremely different. That causes the storage footprint to be different. And that's the key thing, that once you realize, then you look at a customer that is having a particular problem and is offered these solutions, right? All SSD, as you mentioned, all flash arrays, you know, hybrid, you know, server-side caching, and so on, tiering, and so on and so forth. And you get to realize that, look, for this particular set of workloads and all the trade-offs in this customer's environment, given their budget, given the priority of their virtual machines, the solutions are going to be different, right? So that's exactly what this capability that we've developed and brought to market does, is looking at your particular environment. It's not running something like Iometer or looking up in the data sheets. It's actually grabbing a trace of your workload and then replaying that trace in a simulator. All of this is behind the scenes. You know, you don't have to know the details, but it's really interesting to you know, understand what it's doing. It's actually replaying that trace and then giving you an accurate prediction of what the size of cache that you need to be able to get to different performance levels. So you can now start to do very detailed trade-offs, and you were asking about the capabilities of this card, and that's what it's doing. It's giving you these trade-offs in a very simple, easy to read manner, which is, here are the virtual machines that would benefit, here's how much they would benefit if you added X amount of cache, if you added, you know, the Y amount of cache, here's how much more that they would benefit. It's
sort of mind-blowing, really, because to try to figure that out for yourself, you know, with a pen and paper or a spreadsheet or tools like vSCSI, you know, it would almost be, you know, impossible in my mind to really have any confidence that you came up with the right answer and selected the right product. So I'm thankful to finally see a solution, you know, to help VMware admins with that decision. So thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much.